Welcome along to Betting Weekly Live. You're with Dan Roebuck alongside me, Simon Holden. On today's show, we're going to be talking soccer, 9 Europa League games, plus 2 La Liga fixtures to take a look at as well. And obviously, as we've got the main man on the show, we're going to be talking Ryder Cup as well, the biennial clash between the United States and Europe. Simon, how are you?
I'm very well, Dan, and it's so exciting. Is it 2 years since we strode the fairways with our incredible selections, Dan? Well, it is, but we both aged well because we look after ourselves.
Yes, we do indeed. And I know you've done a little bit of filming that our Instagram followers can take a look at, Simon. You've put a 1 or 2 bets. Just tell us what were you doing over the course of this week? How did that go?
It went well, yes. Filming on the course. Must thank the much put upon Mrs. H who helped me out there with the filming and very much in a voluntary role. But we've got the outrights all going to be on Instagram. We've got picks in all sorts of weird and wonderful markets, and it was all filmed on course. And there was a deer just out of shot, but we tried to get in shot. Oh, you know, the issues of broadcasting, Dan, with wildlife. Which takes me back to Steve's wonderful zoo project.
Yeah, this is it. Never
so I was nearly on that by accident with a deer.
Never work with children or animals, to say, but you know.
Exactly. So yeah, head over to Instagram. We've got you covered. And more importantly, I'll be jumping on Instagram sharpish all week. Now, of course, we've got very tight time limits. So I'll be on air tomorrow here. But also, once we get into the afternoons and day 2, please look out for Instagram, make a note of it, sign up and get those notifications. You'll see them notifications on X as well for Instagram, and we'll get afternoon bets and the best selections too. So it's going to be a very busy, reactive week, few days for me, Dan.
Love it. Barrick says hello. Duncan, afternoon, guys. Mike Ann says hello, team. Adam says afternoon, gents. JJ Spawn, top US rookie, plus 550. Stand out for me. Hold your thunder on the Ryder Cup chat because we're going to talk soccer first. The real Brendan King says, hey guys, good to see Simon back. Leslie Max says, looking good. Villa fan says, good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, Simon. Off to the Villa tonight, but I've got Bologna, 3-quarter ball on the Asian Live from early in the week, hoping to lose my money. We were just talking.
Stick around, we aim to lose you lots more.
Yeah, we were just talking about betting with heart and head. So
have a great night, Villa fan.
Yeah, this is it. But he's betting with head rather than heart. You know, sometimes you can bet with both, can't you, Simon?
Well, the happiest situation in a gambler's life is when his head aligns with the heart, Dan. But sadly, that's a rare thing.
SW says, where is Jack? Well, he's not on today. Can't have him every day. Premier League show's coming out shortly. Ian says, good afternoon. Eduardo says, hello. Rick says, morning all. Big bets from Wednesday. Some really strong football bets that our friends from Bet Rivers told us about. Some good winners in the Copa Libertadores, I think this one was. Palmeiras against River Plate, over 1.5 goals for a $15,000 winner. Also, Newcastle Bradford, which was a League Cup fixture, over 1.5 first half goals at minus 103 for 12 grand was a winner. And over 3.5 goals in the game, 11,000, which was a winner. Verona Venezia in the Coppa Italia, $10,000 play, over 1.5 goals was a loser. So a little bit of a mixed bag for bettors when it came to the European and South American football. And we've got an FC Noah FC Van game. That must have. Where was that? That was how was it? Is that the Azerbaijani side or the Armenian team? It might be. I can't remember. Anyway, streams today. Osasuna Elche against La Liga. Niche. Yeah, he's very niche. Osasuna Elche and Real Oviedo Barcelona both streamed live, incidentally, on the site and on the app, as is Genoa Empoli and Torino Pisa, which is in the Coppa Italia. Also got Coppa Libertadores game streamed as well, the Estudiantes Flamengo game, and also the Allianz Lima game away at Universidad de Chile. 4 Super Atten matches as well. A lot of live football that you can get involved with. Tristan says, insane goals in the Atleti game. They scored very late on. I saw some of the footage of Diego Simeone celebrating. going absolutely nuts for that 3-2 late win. It's been a challenging start to the season for Atleti. But, they needed that win. They got it very, very late on. Steve Lynn says, morning, guys. Hope all is well. Good luck today. Well, look, what we're going to do, we're going to talk our way through all of the Europa League games. We've got a little bit of help from our friends in the shape of James Easton and Steve Wiss, who have just marked our card with a couple of the French games, or at least the matches involving French teams. And they talked about some of the games yesterday, if you want to row back on that video, after, of course, you have watched us. Eduardo says, Lille and Barcelona, my picks for today. There are some early kickoffs in the Europa League. Go Ahead Eagles, FCSB, kicking off shortly. That one is a 12:45 start or kickoff. And there has been money, Simon, for the Eredivisie side, the -132 here. FCSB plus 330, the tie. 3-1. I've got a shot on target play in this one. Have you got anything for us here?
My new favourite team in Europe, Go Ahead Eagles. I think they are a bet. I'm going to give a bet at the end as my bet of the day, which will feature them. So they are playing really well. I think they're against a very weak FCSB team. And I'm all over the Eagles. I'm not even going to do any flight comments or anything like that. But they are a up-and-coming team. And I think -132 is somewhat on the generous side, Dan.
Yeah, fair. It's FCSB's 20th game of the season, would you believe? And I have got them wrong a lot in some of the earlier qualifying rounds. So I'm steering clear of the money line. But just one player that you might want to have a look at, an FCSB player called Florin Tanasa. He has shared penalty-taking duties this season. I don't want to say definitely on penos, but he's taken penos and scored pens as well. He's got 5 goals this season. Romanian international. He's a midfielder rather than a striker. He's plus 130 to have one or more shots on target. FCSB have scored in 11 of their 12 away games this season. Have a look at Tanasa. Shot on target. Just the one will do. Plus 130 is my lean on that one. Money line, 85% of the money, 73% of the tickets on Go Ahead Eagles. When it comes to the overs and unders, 65% of the money on under, 80% of the tickets on over. So the shrewd money, the proper money's come for under, the rec money has come for overs.
You said about them scoring in 11, was it 11 of the 12 games? But
away.
FCSB rarely score more than one goal away from home. And the Go Ahead Eagles, my boys, are not the most prolific either. So I can sort of see where the unders money, if it's not super shrewd, is coming from.
Jan Phillips says Go Ahead Eagles will do the job. I think they have won the last 2. They've got a negative expected goal difference in Eredivisie this season. But look, they should win. And it's a heavy lean from Simon on that one. Lille against Brann is the next one, which sees the Liga side -225, Brann plus 525. Brann unbeaten in 6-5 wins. Big step up to face Lille. Obviously, Steve talked about this game yesterday, and he reckons overs for this. He went over 2.75 for the Lille-Brann game. Lille, generally, when they are short price favourites, don't let bettors down. They won 7 of 9, or 7 of their last 9, when they've been around about -200, including in the conference against Sturm Graz last season. Brann are ranked 127 by Opta, Sturm are ranked 129. So there's a significant form line in terms of the quality there. And James suggested Hamza Igamane as an anytime goal scorer at plus 170. He thinks that Giroud might be rotated out. We're probably going to get the team for that game while we're on air. So watch out for Igamane. Anytime goal scorer plus 170. Anything on Lille Brann from you, Simon?
Well, I've got to weigh in with the mighty meat, man. If the first game, the Go Ahead Eagles game, was an unders, this looks an absolute goal fest. So it's got to be over 2.5. I think I like the old Lille and both teams to score. I thought that was a reasonable play in this. But this could be easily a sort of 4-1 job, couldn't it? Like you, Lille are a very, very dangerous outfit. I think they'll be too good. But yeah, this is going to be goals all the way.
Over 2.5 minus 180 short. Go to the next lineup. Steve suggested yesterday 0.275 goals is the line. A shade minus money. That's Lille against Brann. Most of the money's come for Lille. Most of the money on over. 70% of the money, 94% of the tickets on overs, incidentally. Young Boys against Panathinaikos. Looked at this game and I thought to myself, well, Young Boys are an overs side. Anyone who bets the Swiss League, Simon, as you well know, all the teams are overs. Panathinaikos this season, it's a small sample size. They have averaged 3 goals per game so far. At least their games have averaged 3 goals so far in the Greek top flight. However, in Europe, it's been a little bit of a different story where they have struggled a little bit in front of goal, and they've changed their coach. Christos Kontis has now come in. Tend to think it might be under 2.5. It's just a minor lean here. It's plus 102 for the unders. I think they'll be fairly tight away from home. They've got a bit more up front. Cyril Dessis, who came in from Rangers, and also Swiderski, who played for FC Charlotte in Major League Soccer, scored a lot of goals over there. He's now at Panathinaikos. New coach might just not want to get beat in this one, Simon. Any thoughts, Young Boys, Panathinaikos for you?
Well, firstly, Dan, I mean, if you want Swiss football stats, you knock on my door first. You know that. You've always known
Of course.
That. Now, we're all about betting odds and value here. Now, what are the odds that within 3 matches in our graphic, we'd have 2 of the silliest names in world football? But we've done it. We've achieved it. Now, Young Boys here, I'm going to be defensive here and protect the pot. Young Boys and draw no bet. That's my play in this. I think this could be quite tight, but I really, obviously, by the nature of the bet, I can't see them getting turned over. But I don't think they're a team to get stuck into either. So if you must play in this, I suggest a defensive draw no bet. Young Boys.
What have we got on our commenters here? Vancouver talking about River Plate players losing their minds after going after the official after the match was a disgrace. You got every decision spot on, talking about the River game last night.
That was probably the problem. We got the decision spot on, so it changed it.
Yeah. Steve Greger says, this is the most Rotary Club looking sweater I've seen since the 1990s.
I quite like Dan's. I think you've been a bit harsh there, Steve.
What Pringle vintage is that one, Simon?
Well, it's actually Glen Muir, part of the new range, and it's the Argyle print. So I'll have you know, Steve, my and do not adjust your set.
No, yeah. Solo 0969 says Villa and Lille, those are decent odds. Eduardo talking about the River Plate game. Typical behaviour, he's saying, from Argentine teams. Tristan, do we have the splits on the both teams to score markets, Dan? I don't get the splits. We ask our friends and colleagues at Bet Rivers. I'm not quite sure if they've got that detail, but I'll put a request in for you, Tristan. So lean on unders for me on that Young Boys game. And just one other match, Stuttgart versus Celta Vigo. Now, as you know, Mr. Holden, Celta Vigo have drawn their last 6 games 1-1. It's just an incredible run. I think it's 6 on the spin, 1-1. I mean, it's obviously a run that's got to halt at some stage, but will it be halted today? Sorry, the last 5 have been 1-1. And as Eduardo points out, they haven't won a match this season. They were beaten by Getafe 2-0. First game of the campaign. I looked at some of the expected goal stats here. I mean, Stuttgart are minus 120, Celta Vigo are plus 295 here. Celta's games have produced 12 goals from an expected goals tally of 11.7, and Stuttgart's 4 games have produced 10 goals from an XG of 9.7. So there's nothing out of the ordinary here. We're getting the goals that we should do. Because it's the Europa League, because there's a lot of rotation, I'm always a little bit wary about going unders, but I'm going to play under 3 at minus 124. I'm going to hope that the stats for La Liga and the Bundesliga for these two teams stand up in Europa League play. Any thoughts on Celta Vigo away at Stuttgart? We're playing 1-1 again, Simon. 1-1 the last 5, incredible.
Swimmers against the tide. Swimmers with the tide are going to be rolling the dice once more at 1-1. But I've got some bad news for you. The 1-1 sequence ends tonight. I think Stuttgart will roll Celta Vigo. Big start. Okay. And I think there's a bit of juice in this price. I'm not messing about with any other markets, Dan. No correct scores, no unders overs. A straight Stuttgart. No farcical 1-1. You've had your fun there. It ends tonight. Stuttgart. One of my strongest bets on the football card.
Okay, Stuttgart for Simon, one of the strongest bets.
Can I be clearer?
1-1 is plus 600.
Nah, get rid of it.
Incidentally. Eduardo says, Celta, yeah. Mbula Charles says, good day, gentlemen. A bit too late to the party today. What did I miss? Not a lot is the answer. Kenny Court says, both teams to score in the Ryder Cup. There'll be points on the board, Kenny. Don't worry about that. There'll be enough.
Relax, Kenny. He's coming, brother.
Yeah, just relax. Right, that's Europa League done for now. We will, say for now, we're going to continue with the Europa League. A little bit more in depth on Aston Villa against Bologna here. Villa are minus 125, Bologna plus 375, the tie plus 245 here. Villa, Simon, are favourites for the 7th time in 8 games this season, I think, with this one. They haven't won a match so far. Bookmakers keep pricing them up as favourites here. Can bettors trust them at minus 125 against Bologna? What do you think here? I mean, the bookmakers are still pricing Villa up short. They're yet to win. Do they get over the line? Now they're, can maybe shake off the shackles of Premier League disappointment and concentrate on a competition. We know that Unai Emery's got a brilliant record in, 3 times a winner, a runner-up in it as well. Has got a wonderful record in it. This is his 95th match in the Europa League. He's won 59 of the previous 94, and only 3 of 13 losses have come at home. So he is the man for Europa League. Can Villa get over the line at minus 125? Simon?
Now, dangerous. I never criticise other members of the Because We Win team. I'm not like some of the others. I never criticise them. I never name them, and I never will. But what I will say is go back through the videos at the start that we did about predictions. Now, there is a fool among the team who gave Villa to win the Premier League. I'm not even going to name him. Right? Now, check back. However, what I will say is...
Was it you?
It was Sky wearing some daft, stupid top. That's all I'm prepared to say. Hey, we both get Forest to be relegated, so you've aligned yourself with me.
I'm standing my ground with that one. I'm standing my ground with Forest.
I've doubled the bet on that. Anyway... What I will say is this, whatever happens tonight, anyone who plays Villa at that price needs to seriously think about whether some help is needed or a break from the gambling world. That is the most awful price. In the Carabao Cup, we had all this, a night away from the league, it's going to be great. They couldn't win, Dan. The club is in turmoil. I honestly think Bologna... Well, I backed the draw. I had bet the draw already, but I'm actually thinking of an additional bet on maybe, I don't know. I think Villa are in complete crisis. And I don't see why that'll change tonight. Now, Bologna struggled to win away from home in Europe. We know that. But it's about levels. Surely they can play to a level tonight that will get them to come away from Villa Park without getting beat. Now, I'm sorry, Villa fan, you're one of my favourite contributors, but I think you're in for another 90 minutes of misery. I really do, Dan. I don't see this changing soon. You've got Ollie Watkins. He's the most out-of-form striker in the Premier League. And what is happening is the bookmakers and certain punters and bettors are expecting, these phrases about returning to the normal, returning to the whatever. And it will happen. But when you do that in gambling, you can often get, there's an old saying, things are never that bad, they can't get worse. And I think you're just digging a deeper hole. And Villa this year, listen from a man who knows, Villa this year should carry a massive wealth warning. Whatever happens tonight with what knowledge we have now, do not bet them is my strong advice.
Played 6, drawn 4, lost 2 in all comps this season. So this is the 7th time that they're favourites, the 8th time at the weekend. Couldn't beat 10 men Sunderland at the weekend, and that was after Mandava's red card just after the half an hour mark. Just to give you a little bit of context about Bologna, they have played 4 games in Serie A this season. They have won 2 and drawn 2. Won 2 and lost 2. Both wins have been at home, and the away defeats came at Roma and at Milan. They were beaten 1-0 on both occasions. Now, against Milan, Milan were minus 127 to win that game.
Yeah.
Villa are pretty much the same price to beat Bologna. So are we suggesting here that Villa are as good as Milan at the moment? Roma, incidentally, were plus 120. It was, I think, the first weekend of the season. But that's what you got to try and work out. If Milan and Villa are the same price to beat this Bologna side, we're basically suggesting, or at least the odds compilers are suggesting, that Villa are as good as Milan at the minute. That's what the odds are suggesting.
Well, I don't know. You probably know this, Dan, but I know somebody very close to the Aston Villa, club, and there is a feeling within the club that certain, key players like John McGinn. I think we've said this before. You watch Villa; they struggle to get possession of the ball. It was never a problem the last 2-3 years. The guy was the engine room, broke the play up, got it to the better players. He's just nowhere near, and they're struggling to get the ball. You've got number 9, Watkins. He used to get through one-on-one, smash the ball into the far corner. Now, anytime he gets through on goal, he just passes it to the goal. He's just completely, confidence is shot. I love Unai Emery. I think he's the best manager in the Premier League, and I am more likely to think that he'll walk away soon rather than turn this round. And I just think if you're Bologna, you come here with an element of confidence. You're right, they lost to Roma and Milan, but they weren't beaten badly, Dan.
No,
they were edged out. And this is an easier game.
Well, I think it's a real tough one to call, I must admit. I sort of what about Bologna. The problem I've got with Bologna is that when they, and you alluded to it, Simon, when they played in the Champions League last season, they were awful. They only won one game. Villa, of course, finished in the top 8. Let's not forget about that. And Bologna were awful. And they've lost players. And Doi's gone to Forest. Bakuma's gone to Napoli. They've lost members of the side that did so well to get them into the Champions League in the first place. I'm going to sit it out in terms of money line and overs and unders. I think you can have a bit of fun with a few of the shots on target markets. Orsolini is a terrific player for Bologna, has been for the last few years, plays on the right-hand side, loves to cut in, probably be on pens. He's scored 2 this season. He's minus 114 to have a shot on target. And if Villa can just shake the shackles off away from the Premier League and play to their potential, the likes of Elliott plus 108, Marlon plus 108, Gessan plus 105, Rogers minus 109. I think you have a little bit of fun. It's only taking one shot on target for all of those prices. So, I don't know. I think that those are the get bets that I might have a look at, but it's a hard one to call. A lot of comments in about this game. Villa fan says, I was sat by the Palace fans when we played them, and I'm sat by the Bologna fans tonight. I don't know why I do it to myself. Have you seen the stats on Villa? Awful, 18th and 19th in the league, clearances, etc. Eduardo says, somehow Villa still the favourites to win the Europa League. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Peter says, Aston Villa under 2.5 goals at 1.8. Steve likes under 4.5 goals, over 5.5 cards. Steve Groggy likes in the game. Tristan says, seems like the entire club, players and managers emptied the tank last season.
I agree with that.
Duncan says Villa might do a Tottenham and win this competition whilst trying to avoid relegation in the Premier League. That's an interesting angle, isn't it? And Villa says, we're not the same team either, though, Dan. That's true. I'm not suggesting you're not, but, I just think that the Bologna aren't great, and you might just open up and win easy. It's a difficult one. And Bisky says, Europe to lose 28 in the Ryder Cup. What? Come on.
What 19... I would say in general, Dan, and for me, Villa just sum this up. Be very careful about betting teams or individuals that are in decline. Because what you think is, well, they're not as good as they were, Villa, but they'll be good enough tonight. But once a team gets in decline and over the top, they'll find it hard to beat anybody. And that's the situation I think they're in. So always be careful about betting teams in decline that you think are dropping but are still above opponents. And I just think there's a very negative vibe around that whole place.
Look, we're all in decline, Simon. Just some of us quicker than others. It's as simple as that. Money line. 66% of the money, 84% of the tickets on Villa. There's still plenty of believers out there. Over and under, 74% of the money, 69% of the tickets on overs. Just a reminder about the newsletter. If you like what you hear on our show, sign up for the newsletter, get exclusive tips and for the free Insider magazine, bettingweeklystudios.com, free. If you want to get involved in that one, you're more than welcome. Twice a week, which is a lot more than some of us receive our newsletter anyway. Let's move on. We're going to rattle through the rest of the Europa League. We've got Ryder Cup chat to come
Why
from
not?
Simon. That's principally why he's on the show, of course. But
Well, I would argue
Simon,
that.
Simon can turn a hand to everything. What else have we got? It can always get worse. Great call, Simon.
Thank you very much.
Right, Utrecht against Lyon. I asked James about this one. He said, get on the unders. It's plus 104. James Easton, our French maestro. No Tolisso, he's suspended. Most of the money's on overs, most of the money on Lyon. Anything on Utrecht-Lyon from you, Simon?
Well, Lyon, 4 wins in 5. I suspect 5 wins in 6 will be the call later tonight. So I think plus 138 will do for me.
Ferencvaros against Plzen. These two met in the Europa League knockout stages last season. Ferencvaros won 1-0 at home, then lost 3-0 away. The Hungarian side won a cup game 15-0 recently. All 3 of Ferencvaros' home European games this season have been over 2.5, and Plzeň's away games in Europe have also been over 2.5. I'm going to play over 2.5 at minus 124. What you got for us in this one, Mr. Holden?
I'm going to do that as well, Dan. Right, next.
Salzburg against Porto. It is an interesting one here. Salzburg are minus money favourites. They've won all 6 games in the Portuguese top flight this season. They didn't win a game in the Club World Cup in the summer. I thought they were really disappointing. They got beat by Inter Miami. They drew with Al Ahly. Form was dreadful. I didn't really expect them to start the Portuguese season particularly well. They brought in Francesco Fraioli, who was in charge of Ajax last season. You remember what happened to Ajax, Simon? I remember you texted me about it when they completely collapsed, should have won the Eredivisie, and it just fell apart over the last few weeks of the season. It was incredible. He did do well at Nice previously, steered them to 5th in Liga in 23-24 season. I'm worried about the manager at the business end of the season, not now. And I think Porto will probably win, but I don't really want to bet them at minus money. Salzburg have had a real sort of dip. They've lost their last 2 in Austria, no wins in their last 3. They got knocked out the Champions League qualifiers by Club Brugge in the 3rd qualifying round. They lost home and away. Haven't had a clean sheet in Europe as well. I'm not quite sure where to go with this one. Simon, have you got a play in Salzburg-Porto?
I certainly have. And isn't it odd how many of us, not just in the betting world, but just soccer fans, before the Club World Cup thought, what a load of rubbish, not going to watch it, not going to bet on it, going to ignore it. And then there was this move for, oh my God, let's take it really seriously. What happened is genuine. And it turns out that the teams who played rubbish in it have started the season on fire. Also. And, you know, the teams who were up there, maybe not as good. So I don't know. I think Porto are a fantastic team. They've really hit the ground running, and they're facing a team low on confidence today. I think they're just on a winning run. And no, it's not a great price. But sometimes, you know, you've just got to roll with it. I'll be putting them in a few parlays tonight. I'm a big Portuguese football fan and a big Porto fan, so I'm going to. I'm staying on the train with this one. I think another win.
Jan Phillips says,
and overs as well. I think there's going to be goals in this game.
Overs is bet 93% the money, 8% the tickets, and most of the cash has come for Porto. Jan has said Farioli's the go. I like Farioli better than Heitinger. But what about that finish last season, though, Jan? I mean, I don't know what, because he left by mutual consent, I think. I don't know if there was boardroom issues.
Like me and you, Will.
Well, yeah, exactly, probably. But, you've got to be hurting. I'm presuming Jan is an Ajax fan. Rangers against Genk. If you didn't see Lewis Jones talk about Rangers at the start of the season, I can't remember which show. Go back and watch them all anyway, because we need the views. We need the views. Yeah. But Lewis was absolutely spot on Rangers, and he basically told us how bad they were going to be from the start of the season.
Yeah, he did.
They've only won 3 of 13 in all competitions. Finally got their first SPL win at the weekend against Hibs. First success. Martin's in real trouble. But Genk are no Club Brugge. That's for sure. No. Brugge, of course, knocked out Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers, won 3-1 away and 6-0 at home. Genk have only won 2 of 8 in Belgium, but they have won the expected goals battle in their last 6 games, the last of which was against the champions Union Saint-Gilloise. So are they getting beat, but maybe have been a little unlucky? I have got a bet in this, but I'll get your thoughts on it first, Simon. What do you think? Rangers Genk.
Well, I don't know upset my many Rangers friends and fans, although I've got many more Celtic, so I'll probably get more popular there. But
yours upset one of them. There's not a lot you can do about that.
No, I usually manage both. With the plethora of streaming Bet Rivers options that I think we've mentioned and we'll mention again, unless you really are desperate and a fan of both clubs, I would avoid this game like the plague. But it's what I call a something has to give game. You don't want to bet either team. And the polemic that the great Lewis did at the start of the season, talk about having played it out 10 out of 10. And when you get a view like that and you follow him in just against, it just keeps cashing, even though they now have got that win on the board. But the visitors are a woeful outfit themselves, Dan. Now, is this one of those where you've just got to think 0-0, 1-1 draw where two awful teams play out an awful game? Or are we being too simplistic? I don't know. I cannot back Rangers tonight, but I've watched some highlights, and I mean brief highlights of Genk, and they're the only ones that have been. And they're as bad, if not worse. So plus 250 the tie, it's kind of like luring me in like a magnet, grabbing me towards it here. So if forced, I'd play a small bet on the tie.
Small bet on the tie, Rangers against Genk for Simon. Genk are plus 175, Rangers plus 145. Genk have lost their striker from last season, Arakodare, who went to Wolves. He had 21 goals last season. He's now a Wolves player.
Talk about out of the frying pan.
Absolutely, yeah, just about. Yeah, he wouldn't have known at the time, but yeah, he's not done well. There is one player here that I think the market's not got right, and the one player here is a player called Zakaria El Ouahadi. He's a fullback or a right wing back. Sometimes he plays a little bit further forward. He is Genk's top goal scorer this season. He's got 4 goals, 1 assist. He is plus 132 to have 1 or more shots on target. He's plus 380 to score or assist, and he's plus 550 in the anytime goal scorer market. So cut your cloth accordingly with those 3. 4 goals, 1 assist in the Belgian league this season. Should play the full 90 minutes. 17 shots in 8 games. He's had a shot on target in all bar 1 of his starts so far this season. Just on the shots market, over 1.5 is plus 115. I'm going to play him to have 1 or more shot on target at plus 132. Zakaria El Ouahadi should play right back or right wing back. Loves to get forward. That's probably my best play of the Europa League slate. Most of the money has come on under 64% of the money, 79% of the tickets on overs. Let's talk Ryder Cup, shall we? Because we spent half an hour on the football, and it was meant to be the other way around.
Are we doing the Spanish games?
I'm going to put the Spanish games at the end. If we've got time.
Like a Ryder Cup sandwich.
Right, a Ryder Cup sandwich of football. Look, obviously, there's plenty on Instagram with Simon already. There's plenty in the newsletter as well. As it stands, the USA are the favourites at minus 143, Europe plus 160, and the tie is 11-1. Bet Rivers have fielded 1 or 2 decent bets already here. A $4,000 play on Europe, a $2,000 play on tie at 12-1, and a couple of $1,500 plays on the USA. Who's going to win the Ryder Cup, Simon? Are you going to go USA minus 143, Europe plus 160? Where is the value?
The value is in USA minus 143. I was expecting that to be nowhere near as generous. We talked about the heart and the head, and I'm afraid this is a very partisan competition. It obviously takes place, Europe, and it goes to America. Very partisan. We all get really excited about it, but we are betting on it. This is a betting show, folks. Please, friends, family, stop telling me it's about disloyalty. We are here to make you win. And on, 8 of the last 9, the home teams, it's going to be 9 out of 10 in my view. And I fully expect Keegan Bradley, who's not the most popular player in British golf for various reasons, which we haven't got time to go into, will be waving that trophy, and we'll all be crying in whatever we have left in our drinks counter late on Sunday evening. But the fact remains, this is a very strong American team. You see, I see this in a different way. Everybody's talking about the changing of the guard. Dustin Johnson not there. Brooks Koepka
who was top scorer with 5 points the last time it was in America.
Yeah,
no
he was.
DJ.
He was.
No Homer, who was top point scorer for America in Rome.
Oh, who could have predicted that, Dan?
You know, I'm with Steve here. Steve said throw him in the tower. I'm going to play Europe.
Yeah.
Why can't Europe win here? When I look at the European team, and let's just put the team up here again.
Yeah, put him up there.
Rory McIlroy completes the Grand Slam in America this season. Tommy Fleetwood wins the Tour Championship, gets the monkey off his back he hadn't won in America previously. Ludwig Aberg has won in America. Hovland back to form winning in America this season. All those players, bar Rasmus Højgaard, have got a PGA Tour success on their CV. You've got the returning legend Justin Rose. You've got players that play on the PGA Tour all the time. Bethpage is one of those courses, Simon, and you will know better than me, that can be very tough, but I believe that it's going to be a little bit easier. I mean, one of the reasons I've always understood, Simon, is that, you know, the Americans set up the course easy because they can't play tough courses. They can't play the courses over here. But with so many of the Europeans playing in America, does that not nudge it back towards Europe a little bit? What do you think?
Well, it negates the advantage, I'll give you that. And of course, the two of the biggest hitters are no longer here in Brooks and DJ. And the idea that you could set it up for one player, Bryson DeChambeau, is very silly, because if you set it up for him and cut all the rough down, you'd have Rory McIlroy licking his lips, wouldn't you? So you've got to be slightly careful there. But I keep reading these reports. You've just alluded to it, Dan, about this course being made easy. Now, why would you book the Ryder Cup into the most difficult golf course on earth, Bethpage Black, and then tell the ground staff to make it easy? You might as well play it at the local park.
Are you suggesting that there's some fibs there and it's not that easy?
I'm saying that's complete nonsense. We're going to see, I think, people struggle. They have made it not as tough as the USGA ordered it for the US Open, but that's the only week of the year that the rough is grown to ridiculous proportions anyway. So they're playing a tough version of a scarily tough golf course. And do you know what no point asking it really, but the most stolen sports sign in American sports is the Bethpage Black. Only skilled golfers, this is a very severe. That sign will have its own armed guard this week, I'm told. What crazy stat you don't get elsewhere. Eh? Anyway, back to the betting. Yeah, well, this is a strong European team. But you have in Scheffler determined to put right about how awful he was in Rome. You have the world's
didn't win a game in Rome.
He didn't, and of course the motivation for that will be very strong. You've got Bryson DeChambeau, the rock star of golf. You know, you've got Xander Schauffele, who last year was even pushing Scotty Scheffler for world number one. Players like Russell Henley are just so strong.
Rookie.
Sam Burns, great player. I mean, I just look at that left-hand side and I shudder as a European.
Are you not worried about the rookies as a United States better, Simon, here? Ben Griffin, bottled the US Open, rookie. Cam Young, rookie. JJ Spawn, rookie. Russell Henley, rookie.
One of the strong reasons, and I'll come to it very, very soon, why I think America will win so comfortably is the strength of the new blood. Ben Griffin, what a story. 2 years ago selling insurance. There's hope for us yet, Dan. Here he is on the cusp of Ryder Cup victory. You got JJ Spawn, the terrier. This man is almost not human. He came out of the US Open when all the big names, all the Scotty Schefflers, you know, Robert McIntyre, given by me at 82-1, and all the other players thought they were going to come and do it. Tyrrell Hatton. But no, this young, unheard of guy came and slugged it out. He's second in the Players' Championship. I just think that him and that rookie bench is probably the strongest set of rookies I've ever seen in a Ryder Cup. I think they'll be just...
Stuart's just said there that Henley is fourth in the world. Is that right?
The American team has 7 of the top 10.
I don't want to say you're wrong, Stuart. I don't want to say you're wrong, Stuart. But I'll tell you what: if Russell Henley is the fourth best player in the world,
you'll eat your
hope
hat.
For me and Simon. I mean, the official world golf ranking after what's happened with Liv is a nonsense. It was always a little bit of a nonsense anyway. But I mean, I can't believe that he's fourth in the world. Look, I like Russell Henley. He always plays those Hawaiian tournaments really well.
He'd be a great 4-ball player.
Yeah, well, look, we'll get on to one or two
Yeah.
point scorer bets as well in just a second here. I still think that, look, I take your point. It is very, very difficult to win away from home. 4 away wins for the European side ever. The last was the Miracle of Medina. They did win at Oak Hill, which was in New York as well. The fans are going to be, vociferous and lively to say the least. And
As
USA
are
did.
ours.
Yeah, exactly. Look, and most golfers can deal with it. I think it is very different, but most golfers can deal with it. 19-9 the last time it was on USA Fairway. So look, we'll just have a look at the top point scorer in just a second. I mean, you're going USA. Give us a correct score or a rough, correct scores that
Well,
we can have a look at.
I think the winning margin plus 4 to 6 points plus 450 is a great bet.
Right.
I mean,
so America to win by 4 to 6.
4 to 6, yeah, a comfortable, strong win plus 450. I think is an excellent bet, and of course you can play around the margins there with on the day if you're within that, you can start playing in other games that to go against you, to balance that out. So it's a really good market to get on early. That to give you some scope for playing late.
Henley's so good, he's jumped to 3rd in the rankings from 4th in the last 5 minutes.
What's he done this afternoon?
Probably getting some coaching tips from me. Strong left arm, Russell.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
What about top point scorer here? Let's do USA first. Scheffler, I mean, as you say, will be determined to put the wrongs of Rome right. He's short though, plus 225. I mean, the thing is, Simon, are we looking for someone that plays all? He's got to play all 5, and Scheffler's going to play all 5. Bryson probably will do. Schauffele might do. Cantlay's done well previously, hasn't he? Plus 750. Scored a lot of points, I think. The last USA win, was it 3.5? Or do we go for someone who might be paired with one of the big hitters? Because I know that Henley's been practicing with Scheffler. Spawn's had a practice session with him as well, and maybe play it that way. What do you think, top USA point scorer?
Well, this is where you've got to go with your rumour factory. You see, the thing is, I don't think Bryson DeChambeau will play every game. I think he'll play the 4 balls. I think Keegan Bradley is concerned about him in the foursomes. If he were to lose on day 1, I think you might see him not come out. So we've got to be very careful when we suggest that everybody's got a clean slate. Even Scotty Scheffler, were he to have a bad Friday, world number 1s have been rested in quotes before. So I think these markets have got a history of throwing up bigger prices. I'll come to it. But for me, this is not just the Beth Page Ryder Cup. This is the JJ Spawn Ryder Cup. I think he has been massively underrated, and I'm trying to press him up in every market. So top USA, there he is down the bottom with poor old Harris English at 20 to 1. I think it's a knocking bet. There's a real chance he's going to play with Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. If they were to win on Friday morning, you can hear Keegan Bradley whispering in their ears, "Make your way to the first tee, boys." And then anything can happen. Then it's all about the singles. So Spawn is somebody who could play 4 balls and foursomes. He's as tough as teak. He's got a great short game. Bradley absolutely loves the guy. So anyone who thinks JJ Spawn's not going to get game time, that won't be the case. I think he's just way too big. I think he finished 3rd in his last tournament. He has had a sensational year. He played well in the Open over here. I think he's just going there on top of the world. He can just keep an incredible year going. Him and Ben Griffin must not have a care in the world.
There you go. Let's get with Spawn. Various different ways you can play him.
We play him in any market we can get our hands on.
Top US, top overall, top rookie. Lots of different ways to get involved.
Top person called JJ Spawn. I'm even on him in that.
Well, he'd win that. It'd be 101 for that one.
No, in my luck, he won't.
What about Europe here? I mean, again, you've got to look at a few pairings. Obviously, Rory was paired with both Fitzpatrick and Fleetwood, wasn't he, in Rome? Rory's bound to play all 5 plus 375. Hatton Hovland got 3.5 points in Rome. Hatton is plus 750. Hovland plus 900. Generally a pairing, isn't it, Simon, here? Rahm at plus 450. And he did well the last time that Europe played on US fairways with 3.5 points, and he top scored there. But obviously on Live, he hasn't won a tournament, even if he won the money list, which is a bit odd. What do we think, top European point scorer?
Well, I like Robert McIntyre here. I think that's way too big. We know that he had his rookie year in Rome. He won a very tough game, beating Spieth and JT with Justin Rose. It was a really famous win. I think his confidence went through the roof then. We've now seen him relocate to America. He's won on the PGA Tour. He had that battle down the back nine that he ultimately lost with Scotty Scheffler. That's fired him up. I think he's in the big league now, and I think it's absolutely crazy that he's the same price as Matt Fitzpatrick, who, apart from a late rally, has had a terrible year and only just below Shane Lowry. Now, one of the reasons I'm against this European team, Fitzpatrick has been awful all year, apart from a little late surge. Shane Lowry now, temper is out of control. Sepp Striker, well, I mean, there's more sightings of Nigel Seeley at the bar than him. Rasmus Højgaard, I cannot have it all. And Rosie's getting too old. So there we go. That leaves us Bob Mack. I think the sheer size of the price against someone like John Rahm, the live player, is massive. Robert McIntyre is tough and will face anybody down. And I think he will start in at least 3 games over the first 2 days. And then you're looking at the singles. And if Europe are not doing well, it might not. 3 points might win that market. Yeah.
That's
12 to 1's massive.
McIntyre for Simon. Yeah, I can't really argue against it. I quite like Fleetwood. I think he'll be given more responsibility. I think he might play all 5 this time. Fleetwood, and that tour championship win, thoroughly deserved after so many near misses.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Fleetwood. I think for me, that is top point scorer and the outrights. A little bit of day one chat as well. Obviously, we don't know the
we'll know later today
just yet, but we should know fairly soon. I mean, it's always an interesting one, this, because you have to get off to a good start. Generally, you win that first session, you go on and win it. Europe at the 2023 Ryder Cup won all 4 day one foursome matches. I mean, that would be incredible if they did that again. I mean, they are plus 163 just to win the foursomes, which should be first, Simon, shouldn't it? Although sometimes we have deviated from that, I think, on a couple of occasions. USA generally better in the full balls, or at least the market suggests that, plus 115. And then day one winner. I mean, if you're a USA fan here, I mean, rather than play the plus, 147, whatever they are, to win it, I mean, you could have a bit of fun with USA day one winner, foursomes winner, full balls winner. What's your take for day one, little specialty markets to get us underway with, Simon?
Well, if you think USA is going to win comfortably, you could argue that these are all massive value plays. I mean, we keep saying that the crowd is going to be an extra point. It's worth this. It's going to be fanatical. It's going to be... If the USA get off to a winning start and say go 2-up, the atmosphere is only going to go one way, through the roof. And it's whether that transmits to the players positively or negatively. You could argue that the European players are all experienced winners. They've got a lot of USA PGA experience. But it is going to be a real hothouse to be in. And I just see USA getting on a roll early. And then I just think these are all value players. Minus 106, plus 125, and then plus 115. Like you say, if you're strong on one team, you logically you've got to press up in all the markets.
America have led after the first session on 10 occasions, including 6 of the last 8, which sort of points.
And of course, we talk about the miracle of Medina. The chief miracle was not just the actual score, but the fact that it is so difficult in Ryder Cups to come back from a losing situation. That was the miracle. There isn't the sort of romantic end. Usually we saw with Europe, build a massive lead and hang on for a comfortable win. Usually we're not on a knife edge. So again, it's that early start. We're going to see the price compress for the outright to virtually unbackable.
Duncan Evans says Justin Rose to be the top European player. Look, it's going to be an interesting one. I always find it's a tough betting heat in many ways because we just don't have the sort of data, the form in the bank that we do on normal PGA Tour events and certainly in majors, certainly the Masters at least, when there's a lot of data to take a look at. So things can happen, but generally the rule of thumb, always bet the home team. And generally bet America to get off to a good start. That's where Simon is going anyway. I've put up Europe just for a bit of fun, to be honest. We'll we'll see what happens.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourself, Dan. I'll
Well,
ring you.
Hopefully you're up after a good start.
Yeah.
Look, to wrap things up, all of the football bettors can come back in now. It's all right. You're welcome back in. Come back in.
Prod him on the sofa.
All of the football bettors back in. Watch the viewership will go up again now. A couple of La Liga matches. When I text you earlier on, I didn't actually say this, but you did mention, are we doing the Liga matches? Which makes you think you're across it.
Please
anyway,
do, was
Simon,
my
which is, good on you.
Yeah,
so we got two La Liga games here. I think the top one here. I've got a really good bet in it. Well, I hope I have anyway. Osasuna Elche. Osasuna -107. Elche +330. Tie +215. Osasuna have won both of their home games this season against Valencia and Rayo. Good form. They've lost their 3 away games. Who they've lost to? Real Madrid, Espanyol and Villarreal. All 3 of those teams are in the top 4 at the minute in La Liga. All 3 of those matches, Osasuna lost by a solitary goal. Solid form for Osasuna. And you ask Rory Barlow, next time we have him on the show, Osasuna's, it's almost the equivalent of Stoke. It's a hard place to go. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to go there on a probably decent weather, warm night in Spain on September.
Yeah,
but
a lovely night.
But the thing is, Elche have overachieved a little bit in terms of expected goals. Osasuna are the type of team that will grind this one out, I think. And if I'm going to bet them, which I am, I'm not just going to bet them to win at -107. I'm going to bet them to win to 0 at +175. Both home wins this season to 0. Last 3 home games last season, they were all wins to 0. So +175 Osasuna to win to 0. Simon, anything in this one for you? Osasuna Elche?
Well, you'll be pleased to know, Dan, I'm in complete agreement because I think Osasuna, having only lost to those big teams, Elche, a bit leaky in the defence on the road. I like you say, it could be a comfortable 2-3-0. And we've got a new phrase for the whole team, which is he's a good player, but can he do it on a nice night in Osasuna?
Absolutely, exactly. For a mild evening in Osasuna. Osasuna at +175 for me in that one. Effie's best bets here. Always take a look at Effie's best bets. If he doesn't post them in the comments, he's put them in the live comments here. Has he got one for this one? He's got one in the Barcelona game, which
Rangers.
is Barcelona scoring both halves. -1.8. Always some very, very shrewd bets.
Check him out later.
Most of the money is Osasuna. Most of the tickets are on unders instantly for the Osasuna Elche game. And we've just got time to get some thoughts on the Barcelona game. And there's a house special here, which I really like. And it's Barcelona to win to 0 in this game, -120, which is an incredible price here. If you look at Barcelona, they're -455 to win the game. Real Oviedo are 10-1. First meeting in La Liga for almost a quarter of a century. Oviedo are back up in the big time, of course. They've lost 4 of 5. They failed to score in 4 of those 5 games. Their only win came at home against an out-of-sorts La Real team. I think they're in real trouble. I know that Barcelona have got 1 or 2 injury issues, but they've had them over the last few games. Yamal's not going to play. Gavi, unfortunately, going to miss the next 3 or 4 months of the season, I think, with a knee problem. Ferman Lopez is out as well. But there's enough for Barcelona to win this one and win it in a straightforward, game-managed way. -120. Was one that I thought of. They've won 3 of the 5-0 this season. They've only conceded 3 goals. It's a joint best defensive record in La Liga at the minute. 2-0 for me. Simon, what you got?
Well, Oviedo back in the big time. This is the sort of game where in front of a raucous home crowd, they'll have a go for 15 minutes. And if Barca can survive that, the classic thing against Newcastle, what a performance. Went into the Lions Den and were superb. It's all about levels. Oviedo are going to get schooled tonight. And you said about injuries in Barca, but geez, I mean, they've got internationals you don't even know are there, this sort of team. So, a comfortable win. And that's special, 1H to say too good to be true, but that's very tasty, Dan. Like I say, if they survive the first early onslaught, I see this being 2-3-0 and then, take it easy last 20 minutes. So, no chance, the home team, I don't think. And that special's very, very tempting if you can play it.
Anana's goalkeeping coach says Hamza starts what there anytime goal scorer. I thought it was, but Grazza has said James's tip was for shot on target for Igamane, and he does start for Lille. So it's the shot on target play. So I do apologise, but do you know, I say whenever because I've put a few up tonight, but sometimes you just split your stakes, play over shots, play the goal scorer, play any time, play scorer assist.
Yeah.
Split your stakes and play that way. Most of the money on Barcelona, most of the tickets on overs, incidentally, for that one. We have prattled on for the best part of an hour. Simon, best bet before we go. What's your best bet? Ryder Cup best bet, football best bet. What's your best bet?
I'm going to go Porto, the team that have Eagles in the title.
Go ahead, Eagles.
Yeah, and him, yes. Go ahead, Eagles, and the USA in a parlay. I'm going to bump the USA price up with Porto and go ahead, Eagles.
Let's hope after the 2 matches tonight we've got some cash rolling on to USA
for the
Ryder Cup, which starts tomorrow. Don't forget, lots more content on the betting weekly channel. Follow us at Because We Win. Simon's on Instagram duty with the golf all weekend, so watch out for that. Many thanks to everyone who's joined us over the course of the last hour. Go on, Simon.
And Dan, I'll be here tomorrow with the meat man himself.
Yes, you
and
will.
As we come on air, the morning session will be coming to an end. And while we're on, we think that the afternoon session prices, so it'll be some punting, handicapping on the hoof from me. We're going to get them in while we're on air. I may have to hand over to Meat Man to do a 20-minute talk now and again. And I will come on and we will live price the afternoon session. How about that?
Love it. And our goalkeeping coach must have been smashed in, shot on target. Yeah, very, very short since the lineups. That's what James can do. That is a lot from myself and Simon. Have a very good betting night tonight. Make sure you're back tomorrow with Simon and Steve for more Ryder Cup and football chat from all of us. For now, though, it's goodbye.